before we dive into that, I want to make sure that you guys make sure to follow my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram and also follow us on Twitter so you never miss any new content. So now let's dive into this article here from The Hill. So again, Ohio has announced that they are planning to start reopening the state while they are still seeing numbers climb. This is happening with a bunch of Republican states across the country are seeing protests sparking, saying to liberate us and all this stuff, just trying to, slow the curve of a pandemic. So let's dive into this article here. So the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services set up a website for employees to report workers who refuse to come to work and emailed companies about it this past Friday. The department's policy indicates if people refuse to go back to work and their jobs are available, they cannot qualify for unemployment benefits. So again, this is just another example of the Republican Party, slashing away safety nets for the working class just to force them back into work in dangerous conditions when we still are trying to slow the curve across the country of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the email, which was obtained by Cleveland.com, stated that Ohio law prohibits individuals from receiving unemployment benefits if they refuse to accept offers of suitable work or quit work or without good cause. So again, not only did they create a website for this, but literally they went out of their way to make a website for companies to rat on citizens of those of the state that feel they are not, it is not safe for them to return to work, yet they are forcing these people into going to work. And if they do not go back to work in these conditions where they're not given the proper PPE and what's the crisis pay, then you will be denied unemployment. And then what are they left for? Then they will have more bills that they won't get help paying. Again, the government, the right specifically, when in charge, will always try to scapegoat and project onto the people that are really hurting to make it seem like it is their fault that we are in this situation, when we knew back in February, we knew back in January that the right knew that this pandemic was coming to the United States. And what did they do? They kept ignoring it. And now here we are in the middle of it, having some of the worst death tolls around the globe. And yet our government still believes it's time to reopen. Example, Hong Kong is just starting to reopen cinemas, restaurants, and stuff after 16 days of no new COVID-19 cases, after 16 days of not having any new confirmed cases. The United States, we're having 3,000 deaths a day. And what are we doing? We're reopening the hair salons. We're reopening bars and stuff because Americans are bored with the pandemic. That's plain and simple. We are bored with the pandemic, or else we wouldn't be doing this shit. We'd be just as fine as European countries are, sitting at home because they have proper safety nets. They have paid sick leave. They have universal health care. They don't have all these things that are attached to jobs like the United States does, because we stripped those safety nets when we decided that we are going to give corporate America control of our politicians instead of the working class who elect these politicians. So going back into this article, Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Director Kimberly Hall told reporters Monday that companies need to be transparent and communicate the steps they are taking to protect workers, according to Cleveland.com. If employees refuse to return to work, an administrative review board will determine if they can receive unemployment benefits based on whether a reasonable person would feel unsafe coming back from work. So what is the terms of a reasonable person? Is that just some bootlicker that will do whatever their boss tells them to do? Is that someone that just, is looking for orders their whole life? It's a very broad term they're throwing around here. What is a reasonable person? And what would make them feel safe returning back to work? It's a very big umbrella they're leaving here to keep denying people unemployment. But unemployment attorneys warned Cleveland.com that employees would need to show the required just cause for quitting, which would be difficult to prove. Monday marked the first day that non-essential offices, construction, manufacturing, and distribution operations are permitted to reopen in Ohio. On Friday, elective medical procedures that did not require an overnight stay were now allowed to resume. Ohio has now confirmed at least 20,000 cases of COVID-19, leading to at least 3,809 hospitalizations and over 1,056 deaths, according to the State Department. A total of 1.6 million people in the state have filed for unemployment claims in this past 6-week period. And now, within this 6-week period, they still haven't slowed the curve down in Ohio. They still haven't solved the unemployment issue in Ohio and how to make sure these people get paid. No, no, no. They just want to reopen and make sure more people get sick, more people require unemployment, and then they cannot deny those people unemployment because the rules they wrote were made out that way. So again, that's all I have for you guys on this article. It's just more bullshit from the right trying to destroy the working class. We got to do something about this, guys.